What up, fam? The NFL's back. It was an awesome Sunday. Can't wait to talk about it. Felt freaking fantastic to sit down in front of the couch this Sunday and have Scott Hansen right in front of me, telling me about 7 hours of commercial-free football and all that. Fantastic Sunday. The early weeks of the season before the bye weeks start are always the best. You got so many games coming at you, so much action. It was hard to keep up with. So in that sense, awesome week one of the NFL season. The first thing to get into that I want to talk about is you had a couple different quarterbacks that people have really written off who had big time week ones. The first one being Baker Mayfield, of all people. Baker Mayfield having a big-time week one. Tampa Bay beats Minnesota. Kirk Cousins throws for almost 350 yards, and they lose. This was a perfect example of a game that Tampa Bay had no right winning. Minnesota did what they needed to do on offense in terms of the yardage they were putting up, but it was turnovers. It was bad execution down near the end zone. Justin Jefferson has a massive game, looks pretty dang upset on the sideline. And Tampa Bay converted when they needed to. Made some big plays down the stretch. Baker found Evans. He found Godwin near the end of the game for the big go-ahead touchdown. Massive, massive win for Tampa Bay, and Baker Mayfield showing some people that he's still, I'm still here. Y'all ready to write me off? I'm still here. Another quarterback that everyone really been ready to write off, and this is somebody that I knew they were due for a comeback season this year, and that's Matthew Stafford and the Rams. You can tell by what I'm wearing. Today was not a great day. Not an ideal week one. It was for the Rams. Matthew Stafford looked fantastic. Who cares that they don't have Cooper Kupp? We'll bring in, I can't even pronounce the guy's name, Puka Nakua, whatever his name was. 10 catches, 120 yards, just absolutely tore us to shreds. They ran the same dagger concept with him and Tutu Atwell 5 or 6 times. Seahawks had no answer for it. Second half, Stafford completely picked the Seahawks defense apart. He looked completely calm. His line was really good. And they just completely dominated the second half of that football game. I won't get into a whole Seahawks eulogy. that could go on for 20 minutes. Suffice to say, this was a classic Pete Carroll game where the Seahawks didn't take advantage of the opportunities they had in the first half. And then when some injuries and other things happened in the second half, they lost both their tackles. Lockett goes out for concussion protocol for a drive. And then everything falls apart. We get too conservative defensively down near the end of the half. All standard issue Pete Carroll problems. Still unable to get a pass rush because we waited until the 5th round in the draft to draft defensive linemen. Anyways, without getting too far into that, big time win for the Rams. Moving on to really the second big point of the week, which is what Dallas just did to the Giants. This game's still going on. I turned it off and did this. I am as big a Mike McCarthy doubter as there is. Since he won his Super Bowl, since he had his good years with Aaron Rodgers, the last couple of years with Rodgers were very unimpressive, and he hasn't been particularly impressive as the Cowboys coach so far. So the idea that now we're going to give him and allow him to do the play calling seemed to me to be very counterproductive. Sure looked good in week one. And while the offense certainly did well, it was just a dominating performance by this defense. What we'll learn a lot in the next couple of weeks, how much of this was Dallas and how much of this was a Giants team that's potentially taking a step back. They were one of, potentially along with the Seahawks, one of the teams that performed way above expectations last year. They had an incredible first half of the season, hung on, rode that into the playoffs, and then shocked Minnesota in the playoffs. Got themselves a playoff win. Then Daniel Jones turns that into a 4-year, $160 million contract. They are regretting that after 1 week. I know they're going to say we're not overreacting. Doesn't look good. He looked horrible tonight, and part of it was his line could not block anybody. I don't know if anyone could have blocked the Cowboys' defensive line tonight. That's how good Micah Parsons and them looked. But that was as ugly a beatdown. That was as ugly a beatdown as I have seen in a long time. So big time night for Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. I was stunned watching the broadcast. Was Jones not there? I didn't see a single shot of Jerry Jones. Normally, you get like 10 a game of Jerry Jones celebrating in the owner's box. I didn't see a single one. If somebody did, please send it to me because I prepare for those. Maybe he didn't travel to New York. I don't know. But big time week for Dallas. New England loses to Philly. Philly hangs on. There's some good signs there for New England. At the same time, they lose another game late. Mac Jones ain't able to get it done. Can't say I'm shedding too much of a tear for New England losing their home opener. It wasn't particularly impressive night for Jalen Hurts and them. Hurts, another guy that got paid in the offseason. It'll be interesting to see how that settles out. 3 guys that got paid in the offseason, and 4 if you want to count Joe Burrow, who got paid this week. Not great results for any of them. I mean, Philly wins. Hurts looks fine. They're hoping it was not Super Bowl Jalen Hurts. They're hoping for improvement over the course of the season. Lamar Jackson gets paid. They beat Houston. They don't look particularly impressive in doing so. But it's the NFL. It's tough to win football games. They get a win over Houston in week 1. J.K. Dobbins tears his Achilles. He's out for the rest of the season. Very disappointing for him and for fantasy owners everywhere. But I don't want to overstate that. Torn Achilles, horrible injury. Joe Burrow gets paid and then loses 24-3 to Cleveland in awful fashion, god-awful fashion, in some warm, rainy weather. And I think they had 13 possessions and punted on 11 of them, which is horrible. So he's telling people don't panic. He's doing the Aaron Rodgers thing. But that's not how you want to start it off. So those are some big week 1 takeaways. Obviously, there was a lot of other football out there as well. Miami and LA played probably the game of the day. Just lighting up the scoreboard. 36-34. Miami ends up winning late. Tyreek Hill was nasty the whole game. And Mike McDaniel and company are going to be tough to stop this year because they were tough to stop last year until Tua had his whole concussion deal. Multiple concussions. If they can keep him healthy this year, which is a big if, he's a smaller quarterback, they can pick up right where they left off, and they showed that today. And then the Russell Wilson Reclamation Project in Denver, led by Sean Payton, falls to Vegas and Jimmy Garoppolo in week 1. Wilson had a chance to lead the game-winning drive at the end and was unable to do so. The Russell Wilson of old almost always pulled that off. So I was definitely in the camp that Sean Payton was going to be able to turn around Russell Wilson because of how poorly that team was run last year. You don't want to jump to conclusions after week 1, but a 16-point effort is still disappointing. We'll see what they can do in the next couple weeks because I'm still a believer. Maybe that's just the Seahawk in me. I'm still a believer that they can turn that around. So anyways, it was a fantastic week 1. I'm still getting used to this the game starting at 12 o'clock here and then 3. I got Sunday night football starting at 7:15. Very weird. The games are getting done around when I'm trying to go to bed and go to work tomorrow. All of that is very weird, and I'm going to continue to try to adjust as the season goes on. Not complaining too much about being able to go to church, come back, and then the football starts. That's a plus. Anyways, I'm posting these on YouTube now too. So if people want to go to Justin Talks Sports on YouTube, that's the channel, and subscribe on there, that would be awesome. But I appreciate everyone that's been liking, commenting, all of that. And hey, NFL's back, everybody. Thank you.